Hey guys, how's it going? It's August 30th, 2021. It's been a couple weeks since I've done a live stream. Um, yeah, it's getting a little strange out there, to say the least. I was, people are really starting to lose it. Although I can't explain. I mean, yesterday I was in Toronto. I don't go there very often, but Um, I was in there just to pick up somebody, and there was a shooting in a mall that I was picking the person up at. Um, didn't really faze me much. It's happened before. It'll happen again. But not that that really matters too much. I just thought I'd mention it because I see more homeless people right now. I see more people that are out of jobs, and I see a lot more businesses that are closing, all kinds of crazy things. These are the real casualties of what I, or what other, some have referred to as you had the you had the war on terror and all this crap in Afghanistan and all this other baloney that was 20 years of a waste of human life, quite frankly. And now you've got what's been going on now. Oh, I don't know, year and a half, getting approaching closer and closer to the 2 year mark. What's known as the COVID war. So, what that war is really about is if you look at, like, you know, you look at some of the facts that are out there, and I don't always use Google. Now, I'm using YouTube right now. If this video gets pulled down, it gets pulled down. I really don't care. Um, this is just me communicating with my audience, letting them know what's on my mind. And if I offend people, so be it. That's it is what it is. I'm not worried about it. You've been warned. But I'm a minority view, I think. At least it appears to be that way. But this loud minority is becoming more and more people are starting to see my way of thinking. And it starts from turning off the TV. It starts from fact checking the fact checkers. It starts from taking notes. If you're going to watch TV, pay attention. Pay close attention to what they say and take an honest analysis of what they say in the past and what they say now. You've got Fauci, the know-it-all who knows everything about COVID, and he starts out with, it's okay to wear a mask. Or sorry, no, sorry, he didn't say it's okay to wear a mask. My apologies. When he first started out with this whole thing, he said it was actually dangerous to wear a mask. People get a false sense of security with it. You get your hands all over it. All kinds of things can happen. It actually it does more harm than good. Then they start with, oh no, you got to wear masks. Everybody's got to wear masks. Then some places were saying 2 masks. Then they were saying no masks. Then they were back to wearing masks again. All kinds of crap. When Trump was in office, all you heard on the media is, and a lot of the left side was going in on him. Now, I'm not, I'm not a right side, left side person, okay? I just calling it as I see it. I really don't care. To be the point, it's to the point where I really don't care about politicians, because who I voted for turned out to be, basically a turncoat and turned on his party. Typical politicians. So I'm not pro politicians. I'm not pro this or that. You want to call me that? Go ahead. I really don't care. Most politicians are corrupt. I'm more of a political atheist. Well, I shouldn't say I'm a political atheist, because I really don't know what else to do in some of these situations other than voting for some of the independent parties. And it doesn't really make much of a difference, because most people vote for the others. But here's the hypocrisy of the whole thing. The media lambasted Trump because everything in the media hated Trump. It was Trump this, Trump that, all this other BS. The guy couldn't catch a break whatsoever. And now you got an incompetent fool in the White House who barely, I mean, I don't even know how he's functioning, quite frankly. He's taking notes, telling him who to talk to, literally blatantly on the camera saying who he's supposed to be talking to next by reading the note that says you're supposed to talk to this person next. I mean, if you don't see that, I can't help you. But anyways, my point is, when Trump was in office and everybody was out against the Trump, and that was because Trump was more of a, and I mean, he's not perfect, because he pushed this whole freaking vaccine BS, which I'm totally against. I'm just going to say it right out there. You want to have the vaccine? Go ahead. Do whatever you want to your body. I don't care. Keep me the hell out of your experiments. But here's the hypocrisy in this. When Trump unleashed that, everybody said it would be foolish, in the media, they say it would be foolish to rush into a vaccine that President Trump is proposing. And what happened? Once Trump was out, Biden was in, all of a sudden, oh yeah, everybody's got to get vaccinated with this vaccine that President Trump helped push in. See the hypocrisy? And if you don't see it, you're not paying attention. Most people who just watch it can't absorb all the media they're seeing. They turn it on, they're like friggin' zombies. Whether they're looking at their phone, they're looking at the news, they have to catch the news. The reason why I mentioned that whole thing, that incident, the shooting or whatever happened, take place, that was the one time where I was like, oh, something happened. Let me check out what exactly happened, because I was curious. And it turned out, they had one shooter. Nobody was injured. I noticed a couple blocks away the cops and riot gear and all kinds of stuff were down there getting them. And it was kind of freaky, because there were people running all over the damn place, saying, "Hey, this guy with a gun!" I'm like, my son's, his mom's putting him in the car, because I picked her up, making sure he's getting in the car and all that, and I'm looking around and I'm thinking, okay, I don't hear any gunshots, but I kept a level head. And that's what you got to do. You have to keep a level head. You can't just give in to fear and hysteria. Not to say that these people weren't scared and legitimately had a reason to be. Maybe they heard the gunshots. I don't know. Maybe they heard that there was gunshots. I really don't know. But you have to keep a level head. You cannot buy into the hype. And too many people buy into the hype. The biggest hype and the biggest crock right now is you've got all this talk going on about the unvaccinated. How we, and I am unvaccinated, how we are supposedly infecting everybody. We're the cause of all this. And the data shows we're not. Now, it may be true that unvaccinated people are becoming positive, according to what this stupid test is, which isn't supposed to be a test to begin with. Therefore, for something that they have never isolated to begin with, all this hysteria has been about this. Is it about the, just like the war on terror and, how, like I say, I call them right and call them left. I don't give a rat's ass who they are. They cannot be trusted. And whether or not it's happening worldwide and multiple governments, this society is becoming more closer to a government that's ruled by one. Everybody's in quote-unquote lockstep. Operation Lockstep. That's what's going on. Everybody is in lockstep. And if you're not in lockstep, and this is, why they do not want any critical objections. This is why places like YouTube will take videos like this down. This is why you cannot have any discussion. This is the way it's going to be. Anything else is misinformation. You can't be heard. Really? What happened to the scientific process? They say believe in the science, trust the science. Yet I can tell you right now on DuckDuckGo, or whatever the hell it's called, which is totally outside of Google, the grasp of Google, you look at an alternate search engine, you can find all kinds of things. You can find all kinds of reports, accredited doctors, people. One of the major groups that are against getting vaccinated are healthcare workers. I wonder if they know something. And if they talk about it, well, it doesn't matter anyways, because they're the ones that are being forced to take the job, and they end up leaving. They leave their careers. Remember how everybody was behind the healthcare workers? And now they're being deserted like pieces of crap, basically. Isn't that amazing? All because they had a personal decision they didn't want to take to basically protect themselves or not protect themselves. All with this hysteria. Got to get the jab. Got to wear the mask. Got to do this. Got to do that. How's it working out? 2 weeks to flatten the curve. What happened? Nothing. Oh, let's go into lockdown. What happened? Nothing. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. Kind of sounds seasonal to you, doesn't it? Seems like it's in a cycle. Could be. And so now it comes down full circle to here I am. So far I've been very, very fortunate that I have been able to do what I can do at my work because I'm part of what they call an essential service, which means I can cross the border. I don't have to be vaccinated yet. And I was over the border a couple weeks ago on a trial run. As of Wednesday, I'm supposed to go back over the border again. And I've been asked about being vaccinated, which I've basically said, no, I'm not going to get vaccinated. And so far, they've gone with it. But you hear about a lot of places that are doing forced vaccinations. I think it's not a matter of if, but when. They're coming. They're going to try to keep pushing and pushing and pushing until people stand up. You're seeing some resistance in the United States. That's the one thing about the United States. There's a lot more of a united front against the BS. Because, quite frankly, the United States has always been one of the closest potential countries that put liberty and freedom at their core value. Now, of course, it's been overrun by all these, I don't know, what do you call them? International conglomerates and multiculturalism and you name it, anything. I'm trying to think of the word. When basically you have all these multinational corporations and they're all merging together, and they're just basically kumbaya. Everybody's, the economy's totally global now, so you got to compete with that, and it's just a mess. Like I said, it's a matter of when, and I'm prepared for that. Now, I still like my job. I show up every day. I haven't been sick in over 10 years. So I am a perfectly healthy 49-year-old. I am not in a risk factor. Other than being slightly overweight, not a big deal. Probably a little bit more than usual this time around, but haven't been exercising as much as I wanted to lately. It's been pretty humid this summer, but really I'm in no risk. And it is what it is. So I'm getting antsy to the point, not antsy or to the point where I lose sleep or anything like that, or go into panic attacks. I'm very solid. If anything, I'm more solid and more committed to doubling down on my core beliefs than ever before. I have my GTFO plan. I'm prepared for it. I'm prepared for basically a total separation from society if necessary. I'm prepared for even a separation from my son, if it ever came down to it. Because, quite frankly, number one, I'm not leaving unless I have no choice. Unless it's to the point where I need to survive, I need to do something now. I think I'm in a good shape, but at some point I may have to think about it, think about the long term, and quite frankly think about myself and say, hey, this is what I have to do. My son's got a mom. She'll be fine. Or he'll be fine, I should say. But that's a little scary of a thought, because I don't like that thought. My son and I, we have a huge bond. We have great times. But I'm not the one in custody. She is. And she's paranoid with all this stuff. She ain't going anywhere. I'd be willing to move out of the province of Ontario. I'd even be moving, ready and willing to get out of this country, if necessary. I've looked at Alberta. I've looked at Northern Ontario to try to get away from it all. A provincial mandate goes in, it ain't going to matter. I've looked at provinces like Alberta, further away. Don't like the idea of getting further away. I don't like being further away from my son. But it's something that I have to consider. And I have to be in a situation where I am not caught up in this crap. Because I believe the next little 6 months, especially, I'll give you an example. Israel. So in Israel, they did the vaccinations earlier than anybody else, and they are one of the highest fully vaccinated countries around. Well, they've been having massive outbreaks over there. They've also have some of the tightest border and lockdown measures. Like they're doing basically everything they can to isolate themselves and to protect themselves. What's happened? They got a huge breakout in cases. Whereas some countries have never even had, some countries who have put in less restrictions haven't even had a fourth wave. Well, why is that? It's kind of strange, because you talk about the Delta variants and all these other things. It's kind of interesting, because it seems like the people who are getting hit by this new variant are mainly ones, from the data that I have seen, are being counted as fully vaccinated, thus candidacies for a booster shot. Well, I thought the vaccination was supposed to work. And meanwhile, I haven't had one to whatever vaccinations. It gets worse for the side effects after the first dose. So the first dose is bad enough. The second dose really starts to up the side effects and the potential. And it's mainly long term that's the biggest problem, because for some it happens very, very quickly with the side effects. There's common ones, but there's a lot of data out there of people who are getting sick big time on this. This was something that was not given long-term studies. And if you want to believe and trust it, that's your decision. I'm not telling you what you should or shouldn't do. But people shouldn't tell me what I should or shouldn't do based on public health or whatever the hell they think I am, selfish and all this other garbage. It doesn't matter whether I'm vaccinated or not. By their own logic, a vaccinated or unvaccinated person should be able to spread the virus. Well, the truth is, the ones who spread the virus are actually ones who are sick. Those that have light or moderate conditions or don't show any symptoms usually don't have enough of a load in their system. And there's a difference between the disease and the virus. Having the virus means nothing. Having the disease is much different. So you can be infected with a virus. Your body will start to fight that off. If you are healthy, you will be able to fight it off. And the biggest thing is, we don't even know what the virus is, because as far as, other than being a coronavirus, blah blah blah, it's never been isolated. And the test that looks for it only takes certain strands of partial DNA. It does not do a full DNA, simply because they've never been able to isolate the genome. They can't do it. So they use a test that is not meant for that kind of test. And this is the numbers they've been going on. It's a total lie. It's fabricated. It's basically best guess. Oh, okay, well, you have fragments of something. That could be it. So suddenly you're a positive case. And one thing that's been a huge trend that's been happening is that more people who are getting tested are getting out of this a lot quicker, who are showing little to no symptoms. As far as the hospitalization goes, first of all, there's a big myth out there about hospitalization. Most hospitals, as far as the overcrowding goes, that's been going on for a long time because of the way the health systems are set up, especially here in Canada. There's people that's been waiting for years to get in a line for a bed or whatever because of overcrowding, because the healthcare system is broken. In the United States, is broken in other ways, and it's just ridiculous. So I'm prepared for whatever I have to do. The odd thing is now when it comes to some of the things that I'm working on, as far as the hobby stuff goes, now I haven't really touched the programming whatsoever. I've been preoccupied with the games, just enjoying my time, spending time with my son, and enjoying the work as I have it right now. But I've also been spending a little time doing research, looking into things a little bit more, looking into information from certified doctors, ones with check marks on YouTube. Believe it or not, there are people who are on YouTube that can be found very easily, that can share this information. I mean, I subscribe to quite a few of them. And there's ways to circumvent all this censorship that's going on. You don't push the YouTube algorithm too far, and you say something just enough that gets them hooked on the video. And once you do that, you send them somewhere else. The good stuff, the stuff that you really need to pay attention to, is in that alternate video. The stuff on YouTube is just a teaser to get you interested. Works like a charm. And that is a common trend that you're going to start seeing, because the censorship that's going on out there, it's absolutely ridiculous. I dare anybody to use an alternate search engine, but everybody's so used to using Google. And don't get me wrong, Google's the best one, just like YouTube's the best one as far as getting the most content. But the thing is, there's a lot of suppressed content that's out there that's being censored or pushed down the list, whereas the favorite media groups and all the so-called fact checkers and all that other stuff gets pushed to the top. You go to some of the alternate Google sites, the alternate web searching sites, you see a different story. And it's not like it's a political agenda or anything like that. You will find the unfiltered, based on views, hits rates, and stuff like that. Now, of course, there's going to be a lot of the stuff that the propaganda that still hits high, but all you have to do is keep looking, and you will find a lot of information, and you'll usually find a lot of studies in various countries around the world, including here in the United States, in Canada, in the United States. There are a lot of studies out there. More of the studies are coming from elsewhere, and those don't get talked about. The media doesn't cover it. They don't want to cover that. They only want to keep the fear going, because the fear is what sells. The fear is what gives them ratings. And the fear gets everybody into a panic mode where they want the solution. They want the magic pill. They want the magic needle. They're just begging for it. And it's gotten to the point where, hey, it was fine before. You want to wear a mask, you want to wear a double mask, you want to do whatever the hell else you want to do, go ahead. That's your body. You want to take, you want to take a vaccination? Go ahead. That's your body. Doesn't affect me. Even if these vaccinations are causing people to get sick, which is happening too, those sick people end up being contagious and getting other people sick. I'm not worried about it. If I see somebody who looks sick, I'm going to avoid them. Generally, I avoid people to begin with. So, but I don't know. I've seen places like Australia that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you talk about human rights crimes. Children my son's age being arrested because they weren't wearing a mask. Yeah, it's just so stupid. Arrested? Really? Stupidity. And the people just keep putting up with the shit. They put up with it, they put up with it, they put up with it. They have no voice, they have no guts, they have no balls. I'm not worried about, hey, I like my job. I'm not worried about standing my ground and having to lose my job because of some stupid ass policy that's brought down by the provincial government, or even if my employer decides to do what a lot of other places are starting to do in this mandatory vaccine crap. First of all, I'm not open to the public. And there's already all these protections in place as it is. Nobody has gotten sick where I work. So, what would change that? Because of the fear going on? Stupid. Nothing's going to change that. So hopefully enough people fight back. Those that may not be in any majority. There's a strong minority. There's a lot of people who just don't care or don't know, and they just go along with whatever the hell the TV tells them. Some people don't even know why the hell they believe in something. I know what I believe in. I believe in liberty. I believe in justice for all. I believe in people having independent thought, independent minds. Do I believe in the rule of law? Sure. But in that rule of law, there are laws and human rights laws, international laws that are in place that are supposed to protect the rights of individuals from tyranny and from government becoming overbearing. Well, guess what? Those laws are being thrown out and ignored. Here's the problem. They can be fought and won in court. We're actually starting to see some of that happen now. I don't know if it's going to be too little or too late, or they're just going to double down on this BS. But what's happening is the courts are so overwhelmed with the backlog from getting back from the lockdowns and all the cases that are out there. It is just insane, the amount of cases and lawsuits that are pending. Everything's backlogged. So, I was hearing, just while I was trying to listen to the traffic report there in Toronto the other day, and it was like, those that are looking to sue for wrongful dismissal are in an uphill battle. Okay, well, that doesn't tell you much. If you're a legal expert, tell me what the law says. Don't tell me what is an uphill battle and what's not. Give me your legal advice if you're on a freaking radio or TV. Not say, oh, it's an uphill battle. Oh yeah, that tells you a lot of information. A lot of it misinformation being spread around. No substance. Just propaganda. That's all it is. And the fear machine keeps on rolling and rolling and rolling around. You got the case counts, all this other BS, and just constant fear. And everybody's in perpetual fear. And they got their cell phones. Everybody's got their little cell phones, and they're getting their news reports put to their phones and chatting with everybody and saying, how this has happened and that's happened. Nobody thinks for themselves anymore. It's like a hive. It's crazy. And I'm so really distant from society now. I really am getting to that point. I can't relate to a lot of people anymore. As far as the country I live in, Canada, legally I'm Canadian. I do my taxes, and I carry Canadian passport, and I'll be using that to cross over the river. I don't consider myself Canadian anymore. My country, as far as I'm concerned, has deserted me. And we'll see if that changes down the road, but I don't see it happening. I have no allegiance to Canada. I don't care. The only person that I trust is myself, my son, and a few friends. That's it. Everybody else, whatever. And, being separate from society, that's really what it seems like it's heading that way. Now, the funny thing, like I said, with everything that's going on, I may be forced in a situation where I'm going to have to make some money, which could mean I could be developing a lot of software pretty soon, out of necessity. Like I said, I'm not interested in programming. That's why I don't do it. I'd rather play the games. But at some point, that may become my job. And who knows what else. At some point, I may have to detach myself and really buckle down, see what happens, buy some land. I'm already into certain investments which are doing pretty good. Just keep on doing it. But you have to be diversified. There's too many things that can go wrong right now. The economy's a freaking joke, as it is. There's no recovery. There's no nothing going on. All it is the stock market that's overvalued. Stock market and the economy has little relevance, little correlation whatsoever. It's complete chaos. But anyways, sorry to be so negative, guys, but I just thought I'd let you know I'm still around. I'm fine. I'm doing great. I'm safe. Everything's fine with me. And my goals and my determination have never been clearer. I'm open for new information. I'm open for all kinds of things. Show me the data. That's what I keep telling people. Show me the data. When anybody tries to tell me differently, I say, show me the data. Back it up. I want to see I don't want to see numbers reported in some newspaper. I want to see the facts. I want to see the scientific data. I want to see the reports. I want to see anything that links to show me what is real and what is fiction. And you'd be surprised at how much is fiction and a bunch of propaganda that just keeps repeat it, spit it out, repeat it, spit it out. That's all it is. And just because the news says it, everybody believes it. Hey, the news is good at reporting, that a murder took place and a few other things. What it's not good about is perpetuating real fear. Hey, that's a real fear. But believe it or not, those things despite the people going nuts, those things have happened all the time in some of the major cities. You have these shootings, you have these gangs, you have all this other stuff that's been going around for a long time. It's going to become more commonplace as people start losing it, losing their way of making money, and things are going to get desperate. But it's as far as the actual propaganda fear, this is manufactured fear. Countless wars. Now you have this thing with Afghanistan all of a sudden. Does it seem accidental that this all took place? And they knew everything, and like I said, it doesn't matter if you're Republican, Democratic, left, right, center. It don't really matter. I remember George Bush, for example, victory accomplished on that stupid carrier. What victory? You just lost. You had already lost a long time ago. And all those gains you had, boom, gone. You think that happened you think that happened out of just pure luck? This was all calculated. I don't believe anything at this point that you see comes across the news. It's just a bunch of manufactured fear. Fear, fear, fear. That's all that drives. Follow the money. That's where the fear goes. The fear goes, sells newspapers, gets people to tune in. I don't watch that crap. I play games, I have fun, I go to work. I prepare. I prepare for what's really coming. Yeah, there's stuff to be fearful of, I suppose. But it sure as hell ain't no damn unvaccinated bunch of people or a bunch of case numbers or whatever else is supposedly flying around. That ain't it. That's a distraction on the real issues that are going on, and that is, before all this happened, the economy was a freaking mess. It was about to crash. So they propped it up by printing all this money to keep it propped up. That's all that's for. This is all this charade, is to keep that stock market going, to keep the investors, keep the rich keeping the rich getting richer. Look what's happened. The rich keep getting richer. The ones with the pharmaceutical companies, what have they done? They're getting record profits. Yet small businesses are getting shut down at record levels and bankruptcies. And there's more mergers and acquisitions going on. The bigs are getting bigger. I mean, it's all there in black and white. Follow the money. Follow the facts. Quit living in fear. I don't live in fear. Yeah, I'm down here. I got a serious voice, a serious tone right now. But I don't live in fear. I can't control everything. I cannot control basically a lot of things. So I'm not going to worry about those things. What I'm saying and why I'm telling you what I'm telling you now is basically to state this is how it is and this is how I'm going to be. And I am prepared for the worst. Hoping for the best, prepare for the worst. I expect it to happen. I expect these things because the trends are all showing that more and more freedoms are being taken away, and unless people stand up and fight for their rights, for their freedoms, it's all going to be taken away. And once that happens, and you know what hits the fan, well, guess what? That's when I spin my other plans into action. I've looked at sailboats, I've looked at all kinds of things, I've looked at property, you name it. It's all on the table. And I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to help my son have a better life for him, and for me personally to have a better life. And it may mean that we're going to be separated for a little while. It may mean that I'm going to have to parent from a distance, if that's the case. Who knows? It may mean I have to take some jail time. Not to say that I want to break the law, but who knows? I'll have to do what I'll have to do. Just wing it out. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyways, sorry to be in such a somber mood, but that's just the way it is. Like I said, I'm in a good mood, actually. I'm not in a somber mood. I just want to stress what I am doing, why things are just... I haven't been very active lately. Somebody was sending an email wondering where I've been. Well, that's why. I'm just enjoying what I can in life right now and keeping myself sane. And I'm perfectly sane right now. I'm thinking for myself. I'm not believing all the crap. And getting as much information to back it all up. So, that's all. I'm going to let you guys go. Have a good one. See ya.